Hello and welcome to yet another cast. For you today I have a custom 6v6 played on a Mapgen. We have team 1 up on top, team 2 down south, and let's introduce the players. And also let me just enable minimap, because I forgot to re-enable that after making some screenshots for the last thumbnail. Anyway, on the in the southeastern slot for the northern team, in, Piss Yellow, we have Pie Guy going Aeon and opening first land. Then to the north of that, in orange, going UF, opening first land, we have Firth. To the west of that, in hot pink, going Seraphim, opening first land, we have Banana Smoothie. To the west of that, in burgundy red, going first land, and as a Aeon, we have Babel, or Babel. Then, to the west of that, in normal blue, also opening first land, we have Derp, going Seraphim. And last player of the northern team, to the west of that, in grey, and also going Seraphim, opening first land, we have Strider. I think it's pronounced Strider, could be Strixer or something like that. No, let's just say Strider. Anyway, for the southern team, if we go down south a bit on their northwestern slot, in the slime green we have Salty Pepper going UEF, opening first land. And then to the south of that, in dark blue, going Serpent, opening first land, we have Bulk. To the east of that, in this, military green I'd say, slightly darker green color, we have Hyper going Serpent, opening first land. Then, to the east of that, also going Serpent in white, and opening first land, we have Saneman. Then, in brown, to the east of that, we have Count Swirgula. Yep, Count Swirgula going Seraphim, opening first land. And last but not least, in red, going Aeon, we have Dusky, opening first land. Right, that's player introductions out of the way. Let's take a short look at the amounts of reclaim on the map, if that bar actually pops up. Around 23k, not too much, but still a decent amount. And something I just want to point out right at the start, after getting the introductions out of the way, at least. The decision I have recently made is that I am probably going to cut down the amount of replays I will put out per week down to 1, for the time being, as well. Even if I don't actually put that much work into the cast individually and stuff like that, I have been feeling, a slight bit of burnout, and, just my mental health hasn't been the best due to that. It's not horrible, but, no. I think it's better if I reduce the amounts of that I cast for a bit. Maybe it's also just some slight burnout with FAF. Not even to the extent that casting is no longer as, interesting to me, I'm not sure. I will continue casting on for a bit at least, until I say otherwise. But yeah, at a bit of a lower rate for now. That should however allow me to guarantee some better replays as well. Since I am aware that the quality of replays I usually cast is a bit hit or miss. Though my policy on the length not being too important for the quality of a replay will continue. Anyway, let's go back to the game. We have a T1 Bomber out for Babel, going after the stuff of Saneman. Saneman already with Mobile A in the area, has a Sky Slammer Microt to try and track the Bomber as much as possible, getting as much damage in as possible, and that gets shot down due to that. Now we have ACUs clashing right here on the eastern side between Pie Guy, Firth, and Dusky and Swagula. Swagula currently just getting up a bunch of land factories, possibly for spam production, while Dusky is trying to support or defend with the ACU, however currently taking fire from 2 ACUs and some Aurora fire as well. So needs to be a bit more careful. Count Swagula now also getting in there to support. Notable situation right here is the fact that the southern players don't have much spam on this flank to help out, while we do have a small force that is slowly growing in size of Auroras out for Pie Guy. It will definitely be able to give a advantage in firepower, which would force the two southern players back. Now if we look over to the western side for a second, gun upgrade going out for Salty Pepper. Very close to Strider, who is currently just building up a bunch of maxes at the front of the ACU. But looking at it, Derp currently getting up a mobile AA installation, not mobile, a stationary T1 AA installation. But but none of these ACUs with upgrades. There is T2 also going out for Bark on the ACU. We have T2 upgrades started for Banana smoothly. And I think that's all the upgrades right now. And Salty Pepper just finished the gun upgrade. I expect some command aggression out from that. Derp going for T2 as well, and let's see how's the situation on the east looking. Counts regular and does the Warforce back, and that has allowed Guy to do a run by with all those auroras I mentioned earlier. Taking out, well, probably one max right here, though it is only T1. And now running into some units of Sandman. Gun speed started for Sandman. As Aeon, of course, the gun upgrade, unlike for the other factions, split between the two arms, meaning that you have to upgrade at least two of them. Though, in return, I think they are slightly better or slightly cheaper. Not too sure which it was. And you also get a advanced gun range upgrade, meaning that that's a bit more expensive. That allows you to increase your gun range beyond the normal increased range of the ACU gun. Gun now started for Banana smoothly after finishing T2. Salty Pepper getting a few kills with that ACU, but looking at the amount of kills in general in the mass kit, not utilizing that too aggressively. Derp currently is still going for T2, maybe they were focused by Salty Pepper. And right, the gun upgrade down here for Guy was finished, even with gun range now as well. Fourth starts gun upgrade as well, now being supported by Guy. Always a nice thing to see players do, actually supporting their teammates when getting upgrades up. As not only will that allow the individual upgrade to get finished faster, it also puts less economic pressure onto the player that is actually building that stuff or getting that upgrade. As those upgrades are generally very power intensive, so if you haven't built that up sufficiently, it can be somewhat punishing. Though of course still worth actually utilizing. Now, something like an offensive seems to be forming right here. Counts regular now with gun of their own. Sandman also currently getting gun, almost finished on that. This looks like Derp actually finished T2, yes, and he has started building up some PD turrets to force Salty Pepper back a bit. PD also built up by Bark, who got T2 a bit earlier. Getting up some, having built up one Cerberus right here. On this area, though, with the terrain that is just firing into a mountain. Gun range upgrade going on for Babel, and looks like something like a push might be forming right here. Bark building up some frontline Cerberus. Possibly to get some, just some map control locked down. But the PD creep from Derp is continuing on. Slowly, as those PDs do take some time to be built. And Strider just pushing in with that commander as well, supporting all of those farms with quite a bit of success. That is overrunning the position of Bark by the looks of it. Salty Pepper taking a lot of fire, but just got a crucial rank of veterancy. I think with the gun upgrade they will be able to make this. And yes, I think they will. PD for Bark has gone down, but the units there also die. Second PD finishes for Derp. And gun upgrade now started for Strider. Okay. Now we do get more PD coming out from Buck. Salty Pepper getting in some nice shots and overcharges to try and defend as well. But there will be more PD needed to counter the current aggression out from Derp and Strider, I think. Though Strider is now taking the PD fire from those two Cerberus. Well, now it's 3. That will actually cause some major damage. But not before the gun upgrade actually finishes. Meaning that ASU can just walk in for a second, get some overcharges in, and, well, kill off the PD with that. Would be nice to see Salty Pepper also push into the area right here to support with the gun upgrade, but by the looks of it, just the increased build-up of more Cerberus out from Bark seems to be sufficient to force Strider back for the moment. Strider actually going down into the red, down below 2k HP, but got out of range of the PD. Derp now starting his own, getting more PD batteries right here. We do, however, now also get some triads out from Salty Pepper on this side. So this does look like we are going to get a PD war. While that is going on, the ACUs of Banana Smoothie and Cinnamon are facing off against each other. Banana Smoothie with that T2 upgrade has a bunch more HP. And also, well, slightly less regen due to just Cypern base regen being higher. But overall, I think Banana Smoothie has the advantage here, just walking down a Cinnamon, who has tried to push up against, attempting a run by, but intercepted by the units of Pie Guy, and with the developing situation against the AC of Banana Smoothie, by looks of it, recalling that stuff to get some support in. Now, Tactical Missile Upgrade going out for Firth on the front line. Very close to front if we look at this. Basically right in front of the base of Count Circular, who does have T2 now in the base, so we might be seeing some Ishbas very soon, which would be very powerful. And we also already see TMD coming up in their base. So they seem to be prepared for what might be coming. Dusky in the meantime getting up some Oblivions. Would be nice to see some Volcano PD, TMD in the area, but well, it might just take some time. Firth already pre-targeted onto a launch, and that is going after a max of Cinnamon. The one after that, going after another max. Yeah, currently just targeting down the maxes of Cinnamon. The PGens right here would also be very, very juicy targets, but I'm not sure if those are scouted. We can just take a look for a second. They are not. It would definitely be nice to see a scout plane flying over anytime soon. Air transport right here for Babel, getting some engineers to the front line. Well, there is a bit of reclaim to be collected, so fair enough. And large numbers of MLs now in the west, utilized by Salty Pepper to push out against the position that was set up by Derp. Mobile missile launchers, of course, outranging the T2 PD, meaning that Derp was forced back due to not actually having any TMD in the area. Bark now also with Loyalists on the field, having achieved the T3 land. Derp currently still primarily on T2. There are some Ishwas now coming to the front line, as well as a single flag battery, but nothing too major. So a collected push of these Loyalists could possibly just completely bust through and, well, wreak havoc in the base of Derp and his teammates. Let's see, how's tech looking on the other players? Well, we do have TMD coming up for Cinnamon. So I assume he has seen he saw the stuff from Firth coming. Yeah, I think Firth was pushed back, I missed that, but Now a whole bunch of Corsairs out from Hyper, going after them. And that ACU very, very low in HP. Those Corsairs do get multiple passes off, still. And that ACU is very low at below 400. I really can't talk today, apparently. Taking a lot of fire. It does get out another missile. I think desperately launched to get at least some damage done, but there it goes to the land units of Count's Regular. Well, never mind, 2 Hyper, so I guess there was still a Corsair I missed. That missile is still flying, there is no TMD in the area, and I think that will be, yeah, 1 T2 max right here. Honestly, a singular T2 max for that ACU is not too heavy economic damage. I'd say that it's probably worth it. Strider gifting over some units right here to Derp to Micro. And would you look at that? The Solidus I mentioned earlier actually made a breakthrough, ran past the units of Derp, and seem to be getting into the back base now. Where there is still only T2 land HQ and no proper defenses. T1 PD now quickly thrown up. But I am sure that at least one of these T2 maxes will go down. That's almost certain. And by looks of it, DPD does not actually finish. The NGs do get killed off. And with that, not much that Derp can do here to defend. Without any units in the area, though. Babel is sending in a single T1 bomber that might help for a bit. But power production for Derp going down now. Will we be seeing a power stall? Well, I think he is still getting a whole bunch of power overflow, and also still has these T1 Pigeons. Right, no, he was actually gifted the base of Strider. For some unknown reason. Maybe Strider thought that he would be out and wanted to gift over stuff for someone else to manage. Or maybe, well, no, I suspect it was more that he wanted to focus onto the base he inherited from Firth. On the other side of the map. Right, just realized that he did get that. But Derp losing a bunch of stuff right here. Bunch of Pigeons, a T2 factory, I think that was even T2 HQ, but well, there is still one right here in the base that originally belonged to Strider. Also does have Nano on the ACU and thus will most likely be able to deal with those loyalists. Though, to be fair, well, in total those loyalists probably have more HP than the ACU. And I can't remember how the DPS on that looks, but I still would suspect the ACU to win that engage. We also now have some T2BD being built up in the base, or what remains of that base. But that is still 4 maxes going down, so that is painful. Banana smoothly airlifting their ACU into the area to help out. That one only gun and T2. Those loyalists do continue on, taking out a bunch more NGs, a T2 Pigeon, and, well, one now going down to the bomber, but yeah, a bunch more NGs going down. And it is definitely still going to cripple the capabilities of Derp, losing all of this all of those maxes. And the Pigeons and stuff. Now if we look over here into the base that originally belonged to Firth, we do actually see T3 air out. T3 air has been achieved by the looks of it. There was no investment on T3 air by Bark. However, we do have T3 air out from Hyper. And by the looks of it, also no T3 air out for Salty Pepper. I think the only T3 air on the southern team is currently the one built up by Hyper. Let's check for the northern team. Well, we do have Northwest being built up by the Banana Smoothie, though that is only T2. And also T2 air out for Babel, who is currently primarily just building a bunch of transports. And ouch, I just hit my knee on the desk. Ouch. But I think currently Hyper still has larger air production, yeah. Those are 2 factories, Hyper is sitting on 3. And build power wise, if we compare, that's 120, that should be a lot more than those tier 2 factories, yeah. That's over double, so overall, Hyper is still up on total air production compared to their opponents. But we might see a jump to T3 air out from Banana Smoothie and possibly Babel as well, and that would change the situation drastically. Now Count's Regular continuing a push out against Guy, and that seems to be rather successful. Guy just finished a shield, with giving them an additional 8k HP. But Count's Regular does have a large force of Ishwas in the area, and of course their own ACU, though that one does not have nano, meaning that it's not quite as tanky. But with supporting Ishwa that might be... well, never mind, I also just realized that Guy has some Harbingers in the area, or some Harbingers. And those will definitely be a major nuisance, as those are really powerful and should be able to deal with the Ishwas quite well. So Count's Regular may be biting a bit more off than they can chew. And, well, already down into the yellow, still being walked down by Guy's ACU. We do have a singular PD, or, well, no, never mind, not a singular PD. A bit of PD right here on the backline to fall back to for them. And they seem to be utilizing that. Dusky in the meantime also starting out a push against Guy. But needs to be careful as their ACU only has gun speed, if I see that correctly, not gun range, meaning that they are being outranged by Guy, and also T2 and no shield, so they are down on the HP pool. Count's Regular, however, starting to build up more PD, getting a bit of PD creep in. Bricks now coming out for Bark, so they have made the transition to the heavy T3 unit, as both the Cypern and the UEF get access to 2 kinds of main battle unit. A lighter, more raiding focused unit for the Cypern, that is the Loyalist, and a heavier primary assault unit, which is, well, or a armored assault bot. The Brick for the Cypern, which has a lot of HP and a very powerful gun, but is more expensive in return. But yeah, at 7.5k base HP, those things are very tanky. Babel airlifting their commander up to the front. Without any survivability upgrades, facing off against Bricks seems a bit bold, but there is of course also the PD base right here that should help defend somewhat. We do have a lot of energies assisting the shield. However, against the firepower of those bricks, that does not seem to be sufficient. The act of shield assistance, very important in defending or in keeping singular shields up, as what it does is that you utilize large amounts of mass, or well, not large amounts of mass, the amount of mass it would cost to rebuild the shield from scratch to regenerate the shield HP pool, or the shield itself. Which, well, it can get rather expensive with large amounts of energies on it, but it also makes your shields a lot more survivable. But looks like the push, that brick push out from Xenaman was forced back for a moment by the forces of Banana Smoothie and the ACU of Babel. Well, also the forces of Babel, right here. And of course TPD in the base as well. Just realized that apparently, or just saw that message, apparently Derp died to to Hyper. I suspect that that was an air snipe. A bit overexposed, and would you look at that? Hyper just finished a laser upgrade. Also already with Nano on the ACU, making that a quite powerful commander, with a very high HP pool and very high regen. Getting onto a transport, so most likely intending to cause some havoc by dropping that commander right next to the commander of someone else. A play that we have seen somewhat often by Hyper, as they have been featured multiple times in the past. Utilizing that Cyber Laser upgrade, which is very, very powerful, as it is, if I'm not wrong, and I could be wrong on that, but I doubt it. The same weapon as found on the Monkey Lord, the the cheaper Cypern Experimental. Which, while it doesn't have amazing range, is still super powerful. But Hyper having the transport right in the area, I suspect that may be going after Pie Guy. Banana Smoothly, who had been airlifted into the area, just died to Salty Pepper, so I expect... Yeah, that was probably Disposables pushing right here, the heavier of the UEF assault bots. The UEF variant of the Prick, basically. But yeah, okay, there's Hyper flying in, right next to the AC of Pie Guy. Could be considered a very bold move, but with that laser, that ACU is very, very powerful. And you can see just the HP pool on Pie Guy melting away. Hyper gets the rank of Veterancy, increasing the regen, gets another rank of Veterancy. So a lot more regen and a lot more HP. Now up to nearly 19k HP and over 100 regen, due to that Nano and those ranks of Veterancy. Banana Smoothly pointing out the fact that is of course the laser, the Hyper Laser, as well as already pointed out earlier. A play that we have also featured on this channel multiple times before. Hyper just liking that laser, I guess. Yes, they tend to go for it rather regularly. At least in the replays I have casted of them. So yes, probably also in the in general rating range of these players, as generally players in that range play more often with each other. Maybe also just somewhat well known. Going by that. Anyway, Monkey Lord finished by Bark. Strider also just finished a experimental of their own. It was a chicken on the same flank, most notably. And there is now larger scale T3 production of fighters out for Strider as well. Aircraft being continued to be built up. Hyper also continuing to increase the size of the aircraft very slowly, but building up a few Strat Bombers by the looks of it. So we might see a air snipe very soon as well. And with this now only being a 6v2 for Strider and Babel, it is not looking too great. Though I am sure that they can pull back. Derp pointing out that building AA would be a great idea, and he is probably correct in that, as we have seen large use of air out from Hyper, or we have missed quite a bit of that, but it was very obvious that it was an air snipe, basically. That happened to Derp, so yeah. And as the air player, of course, you would expect heavy outplays. But Hyper sitting, moving back after that surprise commander drop. And by the looks of it, going into the water. I guess you could save. Dusky in the meantime, building up more fire bases at the front. Slowly PD creeping forwards. Getting out Oblivions and some T1 PD. T1BD definitely does make sense in positions like these, as while it does get outranged very easily by a lot of stuff at the higher tech stages, it has the advantage of providing more DPS than a T2 point defense, and if your opponent isn't careful enough and they just push in blindly, then you will still get a bunch of damage in from your T1PD. That would be that is very valuable. I also see artillery flying, and yes, here it is, we do have some Serenities on the front line. The mobile T3RT of the Aeon, and the only mobile T3RT in the game that is able to fire while on the move. Maybe sort of a super fervor. But yeah, you can see that just dropped the shield right here as well. We also do have sniper bots in the area, causing some more, well, damage. Well, there were sniper bots earlier, I think they may have died. As I can't see any right now. Strider finishes another experimental, it's another chicken. And Bark continuing to push with that spider bot, that Maculot. Now building up a Megalith. Wait, in chat. Strider, well, threatening Hyper not to actually go for a teleport upgrade. Because, well, yeah, they just have a reputation when it comes to that. For a very good reason. Though they weren't actually going for a teleport upgrade. Now, there was a spider that I completely missed pushing in for Sandman by the looks of it, considering where it was, against the lines of Babel, but Babel was able to fend that off, so that didn't cause any damage. I suspect that those Sprite Strikers right here at the front were one of the reasons that did not make it in. The Aeon Sniper Bot. It's some sniper bots being the one thing that, well, only the Seraphim and Aeon get access to. Maybe sort of a counter unit to the heavy assault or to the armored assault bots of UEF and the Cybron, as a very long range, very high alpha unit, though with very low HP. Which is very effective in taking out, well, anything as long as it stays at range. Now, on the western side, Strider has started their push with the two chickens and the supporting army of Autumns, and, well, some sniper bots, some lightning tanks, some general stuff. It looks like the spider for... yep, the spider for Bark did go down. So that's not too great. Salty Pepper asking for that to be bombed with a map ping. So inadvertently asking Hyper for some help with by sending in or requesting the use of those strategic bombers against the chickens. Strider in return sending in their ASF to shadow the push somewhat to prevent any airplay. I think there was a Fatboy started right here that did not finish. We do have a few Ravagers built up, but those will not hold out long against those chickens. And with that, the base of Salty Pepper is almost completely wiped out now. Single possible right here, still alive. Well, no, not anymore. Megalith finishes for Bark to try and support that. But that is still not looking too great, as there are two chickens pushing in. Strider builds not experimental, it's another chicken. And I was about to say, it seems like Hyper might be trying to utilize those bombers, but no. Instead, getting onto a transport once again, and possibly trying to get another comm drop of 2 kill of Strider. The Megalith firing into the chickens, trying to target down the one in the back, but the one in the front being placed decently enough to block off most of the shells. which would ideally allow the second one to survive. The Maglev taking a lot of fire, and well, a few T1 bombers trying to come in, trying to defend, but one chicken goes down. Maglev about to go down as well though, there it goes. And with that, Bark has no defenses left, and it's about to go down. Or is about to lose their base at least. With that commander in the area, they may also just go down. Hyper, by the looks of it, didn't actually drop in, instead gets a bunch of Strat Bombers ready onto the ACU of Strider. They get off one pass, ASF for Strider come in, but I don't think they are sufficient to prevent those from getting another drop off. At least most of those. And I am correct in that assumption. Two more come in, and there goes the AC of Strider, who did put up a swarm of broadswords, maybe with the intention of utilizing those for snipe of their own, but does go down to a air snipe, leaving this entire game in the hands of Babel, who now also inherits the units of this push right here, giving just a few seconds to the players of the Southern team to try and stabilize against that. GC pushing through the middle for Babel, so even though they are technically now against 6 players, they seem to be holding out quite well considering their situation. Large scale push now also mounting on the east. However, there is a lot of BD in the area that is definitely going to wither down those Harbingers before they can get in. But yeah, the chicken right here on the west, however, still standing still, not continuing its move inward. And that might actually allow the players of the Southern team to get some defenses down. A nuke was set right here for Bark, but that has of course been abandoned with the developing situation. Or the situation that, well, it's no longer developing, the situation that has developed, with them losing their base and stuff. GC still pushing in for Babel, now against the base of Salaman. Salaman very close to the front, about to die possibly. Not looking too great there. The ACU just taking some fire for a second there. Monkey Lord has almost finished right up here, and that will probably also finish to get some, well, to try and defend, or help the defense. Yep, there it goes. Immediately starts firing. But with that GC, I would suspect that the GC still wins this engage. At least if it actually targets down the Monkey Lord, which it currently isn't. It is killing off the willpower, and now it is targeting the monkey, okay. The GC is taking a lot of fire. But I completely missed that. I think I saw the message that that was caused by Hyper. I'm not sure where Hyper's ACU is, so I suspect com drop into that. Taking out the ACU of Babel. I completely missed that because of the push right here. Very sorry about that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. As I already pointed out at the start, I am going to reduce the amounts of cast for a bit. I'm not sure how long, probably until I feel refreshed enough again to start to return to my larger schedule. Maybe I actually won't do that because, well, I mean, it is going to be more relaxing this way. And also gives me more time on streams and stuff like that to play other games as well. On that note, this was streamed live on Twitch, link to that will be in the description. Something I completely forgot to point out this game. The player Derp, who was the Seraphim that spawned right here, if I remember correctly, is actually another caster, does a bunch of great stuff. Hasn't done cast in a bit, but, well, you know, there are, well, different casters spend different amounts of time doing their casts and put different amounts of work into it, which generally is also noticeable. One of the reasons that my casts are basically completely uncut is because, well, without any fancy editing, is just the fact that I don't spend time on that. And also, I don't really have the skills for that, but yeah, that's another story. But yeah, he does some very great stuff there, also some very amazing shitposting. Um, yeah, his link, the link to his channel will be down in the description. So maybe go check his channel out. Yeah, anyway, if you did enjoy this video, you can always leave a like. It does help me out quite a bit. It does help me to stay motivated, for sure. But I, of course, can't force you to do so. And if you want to be notified when more videos like these do come out, you can also subscribe to the channel. It's YouTube, so of course it's completely free. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you again in a future cast, and till then, bye!